This game's not won on social media. This game's not won on telephones. This game is won with shoulder pads, helmets, mouth guards, and sweat. That's how the game is won.
Welcome to the Bill Nace's Coaches Show, brought to you by Dick Lumpkins Auto Body and Robert Comfort Systems. Indians fall in a tough one on Friday night to Sydney, 21-13. And Coach, we talked about the importance of what this game is and into the season and the rivalry. Certainly disappointing to lose, but again, Indians show all the way to the end. There were some opportunities that we had, and all the way till the clock went off. You really wondered, hey, are we going to pull this one off?
I think we had some good opportunities throughout the game. It was an outstanding football team we were playing, and we were able a couple times, right in the middle of that third quarter, to get a 3-and-out, and they had a bad punt, and then we were able to get a turnover. And in both cases, we weren't able to get any points on it, and we weren't able to to take advantage of that. And I think anytime, and we've known that too, that when we get in situations where we don't take advantage of stuff, people can come and creep back on you right like that. And so, as a result, as we broke down the film and watched the film on Saturday with our players also, we could see that there was some things, especially in that particular area, those two drives, that we didn't do well in. And defensively also, I think there was a couple series where we broke down a little bit in terms of we had to make some substitutions, and we didn't play as well as we could have up front.
Coach, one of the things that you had mentioned a little bit just about their team, this is a good Sydney team. This is a program that has gotten better through the last couple of years. But you can arguably say they had some of the better athletes in the league, and they showed that on Friday night.
I think they did. They had they've got an outstanding big play offense, and they've got a lot of weapons, and they can really stretch in a lot of different directions.
Coach, we now move on to week 10 of the season, which includes us going to Fairborn in a game where, again, has a lot of meaning. We want to certainly finish the regular season strong, looking to avenge a loss from last year's week 10 when we fell to Fairborn. Talk a little bit about the importance of this game and what it means to Piqua football. And getting these guys' minds right and how they work today at practice.
I think everything is pointing in the direction. We know we've got that chance that if we win Friday night, that we're going to be in the playoffs picture. There's not a whole lot of miracles that have to happen. The biggest thing we got to do is make sure that we win that football game, and I think the players understand it. And I think that we're going to come out with a good mindset, of what we need to do in order to. It's our first trip down to the new place in Fairborn. I don't know if that's going to make that huge amount of difference, but I thought we went out tonight, had a good solid practice, bounced back from the disappointment Friday night, and put our best foot forward. Had some new kids in. We had 5 or 6 that are freshmen stay with us tonight, so that gave us a little bit of a boost, and went through some good speed improvement workouts, and then got our practice in.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I noticed, I was just around a little bit tonight, I saw our linemen. They're going over some film, and they were locked in. It was I wouldn't have known any difference if it was week 10 or week 2. You could tell they were paying attention, and again, the details are all part of the game at this point.
It is, and they, times like this that you got to make sure that you see some of the results of practicing what you preach, and that is, we've said all along, we go a week at a time. There's 10 seasons, 10 one-week seasons. At the end, you evaluate and see where you're at. Hopefully, you're going to get to play that 11th game. And you've got to put the good stuff behind you. You got to put the bad stuff behind you. You got to start every week over fresh, and we got a fresh start this week. And we're ready to roll.
Coach, let's talk a little about Fairborn and the Skyhawks. This will be the Indians' first trip to a new stadium and a new facility, which we'll be playing on turf instead of having to play on grass. This is the last time we played at Fairborn, so that's one major change and probably the biggest change as far as how the game will play. From your standpoint, what is the Indians going to see in the Skyhawks on offense and defense?
Defensively, they play an even front defense. There's actually only 3 teams in the league to play even front defense: ourselves, Stebbins, and Fairborn. So it'll be a little, not quite the same, and everybody runs a little bit differently. So that's one thing that we notice right off the bat. The second thing, then, on offense, they are pretty ground controlled. About 50% of their snaps so far this year have been from a full house, double tight, set, and break it out a little bit, put a wing over to one side, break it out a little bit with a little shotgun. And through the course of every game, you can see everything from, at one point they ran quads, at one point they had 3 H-backs in the backfield. And so not only can you not be just lulled asleep with that basic, and then they throw a pass at the most inconvenient time for you, most convenient time for them after they've got you, but then all of a sudden you come out and run quads and come out and run some white motion and run a jet sweep or things like that. So there are a lot of things we got to prepare for this week, along with being very, very focused on making sure that we don't let that guy just jump out there wide open.
Coach, one of the things that we talked about Fairborn is prior to today, they're like us, a record is deceiving. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to when they played Xenia, who again is undefeated and will be playing for an undefeated season on Friday night, and is the second team in our region. They went to Xenia and put a long 18-play drive against a really good team. So they've shown that. They also a couple weeks later played Butler, who is another one of the top teams in our league, and sustained a game where they almost were able to pull the upset off, and I believe that was at Vandalia. So a team that's very capable. It
is, and they went out against Troy and jumped out on Troy 7-0. Got an onside kick, got a turnover, or got an onside kick real quick, and then gunned a bubble screen into the end zone for a touchdown. And I think there's been like maybe 5 teams that they have jumped out to a 7-0 lead. So we're very focused on the team. Yeah. We understand who they are.
And that's the one thing that you and I've talked about through the years on the show is, regardless of who we're playing, regardless of what the record is on that team, we are taking the same approach week by week, no different.
Exactly. That's how you got to do it.
Coach, I'd like to talk about our seniors this year, this week. We've got a couple seniors that have been a part of our program and have had different roles on this team, being Micah Talley and Isaiah Martin. Both of those guys have certainly contributed in different ways, but have been a part of the program a long time. Talk a little bit about their impact on Pickle football.
Well, I think when you start off with Micah was our 4th defensive back and our nickel safety, throughout most of summer and then for the first part of the season. And then as the season progresses, we don't really use, there's some offenses where we use a lot of defensive backs and some offenses where we don't. And he has been to every meeting. He comes to every scout meeting. He comes to every practice, and he's ready to go, in case he's called for. He's a backup on a lot of the special teams. And he's a senior that has not got a lot of playing time, but a senior that is not at all had an attitude problem or anything along those lines. I think he like I said, he's every place he needs to be, and he's more than ready in case we need him. Now Isaiah Martin, he got into our program, got him in the weight room, and he's put on a considerable amount of weight. He's in a position right now where he's got some opportunities to play at the second level. And for being a tall defensive end, I think that's important for him. And a great leader for our team. Always positive attitude. Always he's wired in a good way. He's wired to be a winner, and you can kind of see that as you just hang around with him a little bit.
Yeah, well, in Micah's case, you see him, and he's a multi-sport athlete, and he's a guy that gets involved. And as you said, his playing time might have been a little bit sparing this year, but yet you can tell it's still important to him.
Yeah.
Look at Isaiah. There's a guy who really kind of started late. We didn't talk much about it. He wasn't a guy that's been playing since he's been young. He's a guy that kind of got started late in the process, but as you said, got in the weight room. He's grown all at the same time, and he's put himself in a position where physically the look test, he looks the part.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we keep track of what players, who's been where in terms of camps and stuff like that. And I was looking at it about 3 or 4 months ago, season got started, and I asked him. I said, you've never been to a single one of our camps, nothing. You just appeared when you were in 9th grade. Where were you the entire time? And I said, did you move in or something? He said, no, I was here. I just never did stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
well, you get those late bloomers sometimes.
Yeah, we're
Coach.
kind of happy he did. We're happy he did.
Yeah, he certainly has been a force to reckon with on Friday nights, and certainly look forward to seeing what his future holds. But
now our third senior that's also going to be on the program tonight, Schaller. Now he's been a great linebacker for us last year. Big hitting linebacker. And one of the things that we talked about in the offseason, and he knew it too, is he's I got to get faster. And every day in the weight room, he would do extra lunges, extra stretches, extra flexibility work. And he is a sideline to sideline player for us this year. Outstanding, the difference. And he does the same speed work that everybody else does. But the difference is, I think he just put that little extra in. He did something because he is making plays that I never imagined him making, last year. And it's also picked up his partner, Zayden Allen. Zayden's trying to hang with him also in terms of, getting sideline to sideline and making those plays. He's always been a great north-south player, but now he's outstanding east-west deal.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's probably last year. It was in the winter because he was in your weightlifting class, and I happened to be walking in the back half of the stairs, and I almost tripped over him because he was down the stairs. He was doing stair drills, and then he was working on his core and sit-ups.
Yeah.
It was extra things that he was trying to do to make himself, as you talked about laterally. He knew those are little things that he's going to have to do to be a better football team and help our program. There's a guy that
he said it. Yeah, we sat down and we said, this is what helps. These are the extra things, and he did them every day. You didn't have to look over. Hey, did you forget to do something today? No. Before he left, he'd go out to the side, do his stretches, he'd do his lunges, do his lateral movements, and like I said, it paid off.
A guy that's committed to the program. I'm going to point to this Indian Head only because the last game when we fell short to Sydney, he stood out in the middle of that Indian Head, standing guard of it, making sure that nobody was going to, from the other team, come over and do anything that was disrespectful to. And I say that story just because he's a Piqua guy through and through. He's a quiet by his nature, but boy, is he a good leader and is a guy that guys in this locker room follow.
Definitely
have a lot of respect for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, Coach, we certainly appreciate your feedback on that, but more importantly, wish you all the best on Wednesday night as we go into Fairborn.
Thank you.
Again, that game with Fairborn will be Week 10. It'll be at Fairborn with a kickoff at 7 p.m. You'll be able to listen to that game on WPTW. AM and FM, and certainly you will be able to get those results and highlights there on the Athletic Twitters page and the Indian Nation station. We're going to be right back for part 2. We're actually going to talk to our senior spotlight athletes this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about what makes and what has made Piqua football important to them. We'll be right back. Welcome back to part 2 of the Bill Neeses Coaches Show, the players portion. Brought to you again by Dick Lumpkins Auto Body and Robert Comfort Systems. Now is going to be introducing our players and the positions that they play.
My name is Mike Atala, I play free safety.
Isaiah Martin, defensive end.
Guys, real quick, this has been a year that you guys have been seniors and you've been invested a lot into the program. We talk about this a lot on the show where it's not just a season that starts in August, not even just in the summer, because you guys have put in a full year in the weight room and things of that nature. As we wind down, as you get closer to the end of our season, I'd just like to kind of reflect a little bit about what does Piqua football mean to you and what has it meant to you as you've gone through. So I want to start with you and then we'll move to Mike.
Piqua football, it means a lot to me. It's an honor to be on this team, and growing up with this team, and it's like my family. It's truly just an honor.
Yeah. Micah?
It's a big thing for me because my big brother played for this team, Tavian. Just like all the traditions and stuff. That's good.
When you see, you guys see a lot of names, like then you walk out of the locker room, former players that have played here, and then I know in the team room there's a lot of pictures of former players. The fact that you're a part of that, it's got to be pretty special. Elaborate and just talk a little bit more about maybe what some of your favorite moments have been as you look back on your time here at Pickle as a Pickle football player. Mike, I'm going to let you start out.
It's crazy because I played with like Sam, Smeaging, Bryson Roberts, Dreshawn. Just playing with those players. They're just great players, especially Big Fred. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone's first moment is their first time starting. I mean, that's a big one. And getting your stats, like your first ever sack or first ever win as a starter, and then playing with them big names, Sam Smeaging, Bryson Roberts, like it's just amazing.
Yeah. One thing I've got to ask you, what's it like to play here at Alexander Stadium? Coming out of the tunnel with the crowd going crazy, knowing that you've got the support that you do. What does that mean for you guys?
It means everything is great because the tunnel is walking, running out, having that big huddle, jumping, all the fans yelling and stuff. Yeah.
It's amazing, the atmosphere at Alexander Stadium's through the roof. I think our fans and our student section, they're here for us all the time. I know it's been a rough one, but they come to show, support us, and really bring the crowd.
Yeah. No doubt these guys have supported you through, regardless of what your circumstances have been. Let's talk a little bit about when we get done, when your high school career is over with, and you're several months away from that, but it'll be here before you know it. Alexander Stadium will have a different setting for you as far as graduation and a different stage. When you walk through and you walk across that stage with your graduation gown and cap, and they hand you that diploma, what are some of the things that you guys are thinking about once you get finished? Isaiah, I'm going to let you start.
One thing right now is going out there and playing football at the next level. So college is my main focus. Also getting a degree in college and just getting there, my step to playing college football, getting a starter. I think that would be a fun time.
Okay. Michael, what are you thinking
My
about?
thing is going to the Army and doing college.
So serving.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, guys, thank you for being a part of this one. We appreciate your time and what you gave to Pickle football, and we certainly wish you guys all the best. But more importantly, we certainly wish you back on Friday night as we get ready to go on the road in our final regular season game at Fairborn. So good luck.
Thank you.
We're going to come back. We're going to talk to one other senior when we return on the Bill Nieces Coaches Show. Welcome to part 3 of the Bill Nieces Coaches Show. This is the bonus side of things where we're going to get to talk a little bit more to our football seniors. And with us right now, I'm going to allow him to introduce himself and the positions that he plays.
All right. My name's Owen Schaller. I play middle linebacker. I'm number 6 for the Pickle football team, and I play every once in a while. I
Play a little tight end.
A little tight end every once in a while.
Yeah. Owen, this is your senior year. Obviously, this is a big year for you.
Yeah.
You've put a lot of time and effort and energy into football.
Mm-hmm.
I ask this question to all of our seniors, but for you, I think about it, and I think what your answer might be. But what does Pickle football mean to you, and what has it meant to you as a guy that has been around Pickle since you've been little?
Well, since I've been little, it's been a big thing to look forward to. You always looking at the guys in the field when you're younger, looking at the seniors and stuff. It's just a cool thing to see, and there's a lot of tradition here, and it's a good feeling to be a part of it, and also to have a coach like Bill Niece who's been here for so long and have a good reputation, and just to be a part of it's just amazing. And coming here with the guys every day, it's just a different feeling.
Oh, and one of the things that I notice about you is your recognition not just to the traditions of Pickle football, from former players and obviously coaches, but also the time and energy and effort that it takes to put into it commitment-wise. And you really have been committed to it.
Oh, yeah.
Right from the beginning, all year. And so talk a little bit about that, and it's a grind. And grind isn't a negative thing. Grind is a good thing, but those are things that I gotta believe for you that it's an everyday. You live it every day.
Yeah. The grind really started when I first put on the Pee Wee pads and putting on those. First day out, that was the best day of my life. And then continuing that day in and day out and just coming here with the guys every day is just another good feeling. And going out to the field, putting in the work and coming in here, messing around, but being serious at the same time. It's a pretty good feeling.
You've made yourself a leader on this team.
Yeah.
It's been no doubt that you've been one of our leaders, and the coach has mentioned that on several occasions. But I know for you, you're going into what will be for sure your final regular season game on Friday. I'm sure there's a lot of emotion of that, but I know you'll give it your best effort. But it would be remiss if I didn't mention, you're also a multi-sport athlete. A lot of people will see you on the football field on Friday night, but baseball may be as important, maybe even a little bit more special, or maybe just a little different special. You're just as successful on the baseball field as you are as football.
Yeah.
So talk a little about baseball. What's been baseball like? Because that's a completely different sport than football.
Yeah, baseball, just kind of like football. You got to keep it on. You got to keep doing it consistently all year round. You can't really go away because then mechanics will go bad and stuff like that, and getting little slumps every once in a while. You just gotta have a good mental and just.
So you played a lot of baseball in the summer.
Yeah, a lot of baseball. Oh my gosh, yeah. With football too, and baseball in the summer, going back and forth with that, it's a lot.
You look at your time at Piqua here, certainly special. When we get to the end of the school year, we always say that the stage at Alexander Stadium is a different one in May because you'll be wearing a different uniform, cap and gown. What's graduation going to look behind the curtain a little bit? What's graduation going to look like for you afterwards?
Probably gonna go to Sinclair and go to fire school and become a fireman. Probably. I'm hoping to get out of Ohio, but we'll see how far I go.
Oh, okay.
Family. We'll see how the family thing goes.
Well, I know you and your family have obviously a tight relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And but for you, fire science, just curious, what made you interested in being a firefighter?
Well, kind of started when I was younger, when they would do like the little shooting the water out and going to the fire station, just hanging out with them. And, I don't know. And another person I looked up to was Cletus. Cletus Hockey kind of talked about
Coach,
it to me.
yeah, Coach here for a lot of years, and certainly grateful for what he brought to Piqua.
Yeah.
But he makes an impact on you.
Yeah.
That's pretty special. Well, hey, we wish you all the best with that, and certainly all the best on Friday night as you get ready to roll at Fairborn.
Oh, yeah.
Just a reminder, Indians will be at Fairborn on Friday night. They will have a new facility. It's going to be actually at the high school. The new high school will no longer be played on grass. It'll actually be in the 2024. Everybody plays on turf for the most part.
Yeah.
Certainly here in the MVL. We'll be back. We're going to be part 4. You're going to meet one more player when we return. Welcome to part 4 of the Bill Neese's Coaches Show. An additional bonus here with senior. I'm going to let this senior introduce himself and the position he plays.
I'm Elijah Bushnell, and I play offensive line.
Elijah, we've talked a lot with the guys that are on the show about Piqua football and what it means to them. You've got an interesting story in, like a lot of our players that have graduated in the past, there's some history with Piqua football in your family. Talk a little bit about what that is and what that means to you.
Well, a lot of my family, going all the way back to, as far as I know, my grandpa played for Piqua, and it's always been about Piqua football growing up, and everybody in the family's played. All 3 of my brothers have played. My middle brother, it didn't work out for him, and he went to wrestling and did really good there. My oldest brother was a great receiver. My dad was a great defensive lineman. And so it's always been, my dad was coaching Pee Wee, and so it's always close to home for Piqua football.
So you've kept the tradition going, and you've continued to play.
Yep.
Give me one of your highlights in your career at any time. What was something that pops up to you that brings a smile to your face?
I'd say it'd either have to be beating Troy in my sophomore year. That was a great game. Or playing against Greenville this year.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
You had a good one on that night, and I know that's something that you'll take with you, and certainly family legacy, and I appreciate the fact that you kept the legacy going. I want to flip the script a little bit. We talk a lot about what's after graduation. When you graduate in May, you're going to be moving on to the next step. You had mentioned in your senior features about family and what you've got on. Ironically, today, you didn't even know you were going to get interviewed and you had it on. The family business. It's important to you. You can tell it's important to you. And you have a lot of pride with in the truck that you drive around, in the things that you wear. And when you're doing the job, you can just tell it's important to you. Talk a little bit about that, about the family business, and you've been around it obviously your whole life, but what's special to you about it?
It's special to me because I've always grown up looking up to my dad, and he started the business himself. It started in the barn behind the house, and now we have a lot of tow trucks and a lot of employees, and it's weird to see it go from just him working by himself to now we have all of this, and it becomes very surreal, and it's great to see that I'm a part of that, and my last name is on the trucks and on the building and on the checks that get signed. And
You could tell there, as I said, when you drive the truck to practice, and I see you, there's a bit of a smirk of pride with that, and that's fantastic. And to see the fact where your dad grew the business to where it is now. And you've said that you want to keep it going. You have two older brothers, you mentioned them, but you are the one that wants to keep the business rolling. So talk a little bit about that and what your interests are, what you want to do down the road with it.
Later down the road, hopefully I can get it to a point where it's comfortable. Right now we're in between. We just had an employee get hurt, so we're out that. And hopefully I can get to the point where we're comfortable and we have a nice work schedule and everybody's happy with how they are.
You said to me off camera, which I found very interesting, because I don't hear a lot of young men, young women in high school say they want to manage people, leadership. That interests you, working with people. Talk just a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to, one, work for yourself, because then you know what you have to do. And I like managing people because it's a good feeling to know that person gets to come here every day and do this job that nobody else gets to do. And then they go home and that supports their family, and so it gives them a good track on life.
Yeah. Elijah, it's fun to listen to you talk about it because you get excited about it just and hear what you're saying. But we certainly wish you well with that business, because you'll be a guy that will be, too, like your dad, into the community as your dad does, giving back. And we look forward to seeing you guys continue to grow. So all the best to you.
Yep.
Again, I'm going to say it one more time. We are at Friday night. Indians will be at Fairborn for week 10 of the regular season. You can catch a game on WPTW. For Elijah Bushnell, I'm Chip Hare. We'll see you next time.